A peculiar girl named Guri shows up at Seiji Aino's house, bearing a notebook known as the Kiss Note that possesses the ability to instigate love between individuals. She warns Seiji that unless he kisses someone within 24 hours, he'll forever remain a virgin. Seiji, however, misinterprets this and ends up kissing Guri instead. The following day, Seiji's crush, Akane Hiyama, stumbles upon what appears to be a romantic connection between Seiji and Guri, leading her to become intensely jealous and even attempting to harm them with gurkha knives. Eventually, Seiji and Akane reconcile their differences, thanks to Guri disclosing her identity as an angel from heaven. She uses the Kiss Note to pair them together, but also includes herself in the mix, much to Akane's dismay. Later on, Guri's superior, Coralie, takes over the body of Seiji's cat, Blue, and informs them that they've become immortal. They must now assist Guri in fulfilling her angelic duties, or they risk being condemned to hell. While at school, a mysterious girl steals the Kiss Note only to be revealed as Akane's younger half-sister, Yuzu Kikogasaki. Yuzu possesses telekinetic powers and has an obsessive infatuation with Akane. Guri, ever the matchmaker, ultimately incorporates Yuzu into Seiji's growing harem as well. Akane encounters Seiji's spirited younger sister, Seiji Aino. Seiji takes action by confiscating the Kiss Note upon discovering that Guri and Yuzu are using it to match up random students. Subsequently, Guri and Yuzu come across a love poem penned by a teacher, named Nakido Kusunoki, who harbors affection for a student, named Mari Shina. While Guri, Akane, and Yuzu believe that Kusunoki and Mari would be a perfect match, Mari later confides in Seiji that she sees Kusunoki as nothing more than a little brother. Guri initially planned to use Mari as a hostage in a scheme to prompt Kusunoki to rescue her, but unexpected bank robbers end up taking both Guri and Mari hostage. During the ordeal, Seiji sustains a gunshot wound while shielding Yuzu, who begins to develop feelings for Seiji. However, Kusunoki's efforts to protect Mari prove inadequate. When Akane arrives at the scene, she violently confronts the bank robbers for injuring Seiji. In a heartfelt moment, Kusunoki confesses to Mari that his love for her would be inappropriate given their teacher-student relationship, expressing his willingness to wait until that label no longer applies. In a surprising twist, Mari reveals to Kusunoki that she has been aware of his feelings all along and privately discloses to Seiji that she had been covertly manipulating Kusunoki into falling in love with her. Akua discovers that Seiji has 3 girlfriends and decides to punish him by squeezing toothpaste into his eye. Yuzu makes a forceful attempt to befriend Akua, during which Akua inadvertently reveals her feelings for Seiji. Soon after, Akua attracts the attention of Stolas, a demonic penguin fixated on her. When Akua jumps from a tree, Seiji arrives to rescue her, leading to Stolas being apprehended by the riot police. While Seiji and Guri are observing an argument involving a cheating man named Yu and several women, Seiji becomes unintentionally embroiled in the altercation, resulting in the Kiss Note being accidentally burned. Coralie confesses that he's uncertain about the consequences since the Kiss Note has never been destroyed before. The following day, Akane ignores Seiji at school, believing that his harem is falling apart. Seiji, Guri, and Yuzu are then approached by Tiara, another angel and a friend of Guri's, who assures them that the other couples are still intact. Since Tiara is expecting a child and retiring, she hands over her Kiss Note, which now takes the form of a smartphone, to Guri as a replacement. In a surprising turn of events, an upset Akane suddenly appears, kisses Seiji, and proceeds to stab him repeatedly. Fortunately, Guri manages to restore the harem and their immortality, just in time using her new Kiss Note. Guri discovers that Yuzu is skipping her regular school to stalk Akane. However, Akane is already aware of this and instructs Yuzu to continue attending her actual school, causing Yuzu to flee in tears. After warding off a pervert, Yuzu falls into a river, and is subsequently rescued by Seiji. Although she confesses her regret for not acting sooner, Yuzu vows to win Akane's heart someday. The following day, Seiji falls ill with a cold, and a girl named Shikimi Shermine approaches Seiji and Guri, seeking their assistance with her crush, even though she appears not to know his name. As Seiji and Shikimi take a stroll together, he unintentionally reveals that his harem possesses immortality. Meanwhile, Guri realizes that her Kiss Note has been stolen. Shikimi entices Seiji away and kidnaps him, unveiling her true identity as a pink-haired sadistic psychopath. She reveals the stolen kiss note and subjects Seiji to torture in an attempt to extract information on how Guri bestows immortality. Guri informs Akane and Yuzu about Shikimi, leading to Akane's fury and Yuzu's terror. Unveiled as Akane and Yuzu's cousin, Shikimi restrains Akane from getting close to Seiji, but Yuzu steps in to defend Akane from Shikimi. When Guri arrives, Shikimi tries to manipulate her into joining the harem by professing her love, but Guri declines, sensing that Shikimi lacks genuine affection. Shikimi abruptly receives a phone call from Akane's mother before departing, vowing to become part of the harem someday. Subsequently, Seiji passes away while resting on Akane's lap, and he finds himself in heaven. There, he encounters Coralie, who escorts Seiji to meet a clumsy individual named Kami, the current god and Guri's father. While spending time with Tiara and Coralie, Kami informs Seiji that Guri will eventually replace him as the new god. Seiji is tasked with teaching Guri all about authentic love. Their meeting is interrupted by Mao, the present ruler of Hell, who is determined to enlist Guri as a demon. Seiji argues that Guri wouldn't be interested in either role as she's too free-spirited. Kami and Mao agree that Guri is still too immature, prompting Seiji to return to Earth with the mission of educating Guri on the subject of true love. Seiji invites Akua to join him at the beach, but the rest of his harem also tags along. As they enjoy themselves by the sea, a playful volleyball match breaks out after Guri accidentally tosses a volleyball into Akane's cleavage. Meanwhile, Seiji crosses paths with Shikimi at a concession stand and she blames him for Akane's current condition, alleging that the Hiyama family, with their magical spears, is in a rivalry with the Kikogasaki family, who possess magical shields. Shikimi is convinced that Akane is too feeble to endure this feud. Unfortunately, this proves true when Stolas, who has returned for Akua, inflicts severe injuries on Akane during their confrontation, despite Akane's ultimate victory. That night at school, Seiji, Guri, Akane, and Yuzu attempt to assist a couple in proving their love by hunting ghosts. On the rooftop, Akane questions Guri about her true feelings for Seiji and instructs her to stay away from him, deeming her a nuisance. It is revealed that the supposed couple are actually ghosts who had fallen in love, with various lurking spirits refusing to let them move on to the afterlife until their love is validated. Guri is left in a state of inner turmoil over her emotions. Guri's anger flares when Seiji declines her invitation to a festival due to prior plans with Akane and Yuzu. In a bookstore, she encounters a kind-hearted man who asks her out, leading her to constantly draw comparisons to Seiji. Later at the festival, the man makes a move to kiss her, but she rejects him as her thoughts remain fixated on Seiji. Coincidentally, she bumps into Seiji, who had come to the festival to confront her about the earlier disagreement. Despite his flaws, she kisses him, realizing her true happiness lies in their togetherness. Unbeknownst to her, the man was actually under mind control by Mao, who sought to sabotage Seiji and Guri's relationship. Meanwhile, So Hiyama, Akane's mother, instructs her to end her relationship with Seiji. Shortly afterward, Seiji is targeted by assassins, but Akua arrives in time to rescue him. On a different note, Yuzu is delighted to become friends with Guri, who appreciates Yuzu's lifelong invisible barrier. In the midst of all this, Akane reminisces about her initial encounter with Seiji and how she fell in love with him almost instantly. Shikimi informs Seiji and Akua that the assassins were working for So, while Akane is confined to the family estate as punishment for her love affair. Taro Tsuruo, Yuzu's attendant, chauffeurs Guri and Yuzu to the Hiyama residence, where they manage to elude the assassins and reach Akane, who unexpectedly launches an attack on them. Just as this unfolds, So makes an appearance, coinciding with the arrival of Seiji, Shikimi, Akua, and Coralie. Shikimi throws Coralie at Akua before apprehending and subjecting Seiji to torture. So instructs Akane to terminate Seiji, but Akane hesitates and drops her sword after he helps her regain her composure. Ameisha Kikogasaki, Yuzu's mother, arrives in a fit of anger and initiates a duel with So. Akane and Yuzu clarify that their mothers were once involved with the same man, Akane and Yuzu's father, but the relationship eventually soured, leading to a long-standing family feud. Akane intervenes in the fight, declaring her love for Seiji, and her intention to stay with him regardless of the circumstances. So eventually yields, permitting Akane to continue dating Seiji, but with a warning that she will take action if Akane is harmed in any way. Akane returns to her normal self and now regards Guri as a rival. So elaborates to Ameisha that Yuzu has been in love with Akane while simultaneously dating Seiji. Ameisha pursues Tsuruo for failing to keep her informed about the situation. Outside the school, Guri and Akane engage in a heated dispute over Seiji, with Akane ultimately walking inside with him, leaving Guri behind. In the classroom, Seiji and Akane discover that Shikimi is now officially a student at their school, assigned by both So and Ameisha to keep an eye on Seiji. In an effort to demonstrate their success as a couple, Seiji and Akane decide to publicly kiss with the condition that Akane and Guri can find a way to get along. As the cultural festival approaches, the class decides to put on a play, with Shikimi, Akane, and Guri cast as the princess, male knight, and love rival, respectively. Yuzu later kisses Seiji in a stairwell, attempting to convince herself that she feels nothing despite her conflicted emotions. During the play, Yuzu arrives late during Guri and Akane's argument and confesses to kissing Seiji as a means to sort out her feelings. Akane forgives Yuzu and encourages her to take as much time as she needs. The play concludes with Akane kissing Guri, somehow meeting Seiji's condition. After the play, Yuzu claims that she no longer hates Seiji, but still expresses her disdain for him. Shikimi hints that Guri may be left behind if Akane and Yuzu continue to grow closer to Seiji. Seiji finally enjoys having the house all to himself after Akua departs for a sleepover. However, his solitude is short-lived as Akane, Guri, Yuzu, and Shikimi unexpectedly arrive, one after another. Despite his efforts to spend the day with the girls, Seiji's attempt to take a bath is abruptly disrupted. In the garden, Seiji shares a meaningful kiss with Akane, keeping a promise they had made. That night, the girls sleep in Seiji's bedroom while Seiji himself sleeps in the living room. But by morning, all the girls have joined him in the living room. When Akua returns, she chastises Seiji upon seeing him with 4 girls. Guri makes an attempt to assist to upset Akua in getting more attention from Seiji by dressing her in frilly clothes and offering fancy pastries. However, Akua questions whether Guri genuinely has feelings for Seiji. Meanwhile, a vengeful Stolas returns from the wilderness. At a playground, Coralie transforms into his angelic form to defend Akua from Stolas. Nevertheless, Akua stands her ground and delivers a kick to Stola's face. Seiji arrives, realizing that Akua no longer needs protection. Shikimi departs with Guri, leaving Seiji to ponder Guri's disappearance. Guri has been missing for more than a week, and Coralie is growing increasingly concerned about Seiji's lack of urgency in addressing the situation. Suspecting Shikimi's involvement, Seiji confronts her in the locker room. However, Shikimi captures him and repeatedly kisses him, all while Guri secretly observes from outside. At a maid cafe in the past, Guri had confided in Shikimi about something missing in her relationship with Seiji. Shikimi suggested that Guri should distance herself from Seiji and observe his interactions with the other girls. Akane and Yuzu eventually arrive to rescue Seiji, and Shikimi reveals the despondent Guri to them. In a moment of frustration, Seiji states that Guri has only been a nuisance to him, which leads Guri to seal herself within a cocoon of black feathers. Mao then appears, having collaborated with Shikimi to manipulate Seiji into breaking Guri's heart. Guri reemerges as a demon, casually announcing that her old self is gone, and she squarely places the blame on Seiji. She departs, intent on breaking up the couples she had brought together during her time as an angel. Following Shikimi's departure with Mao, Yuzu persuades Seiji to join her in an effort to rescue Guri. However, Akane declines to accompany them on this mission. Coralie escorts Seiji and Yuzu to heaven, where Kami suggests that they embark on a journey to hell to retrieve Guri. Meanwhile, Guri adamantly refuses to become the new devil, causing Mao to contemplate retirement. Disguised as demonic businesspeople, Seiji, Yuzu, and Coralie's cover is blown by Shikimi, forcing them to make a hasty escape. Fortunately, Akane comes to their rescue, after arriving in hell, having been shocked to death at the thought of Seiji already being married, with children. Upon reaching the rooftop of an office building, Akane confronts Guri and gives her an ultimatum: either return to her normal self, or remain a demon forever. Seiji eventually realizes that Guri is not entirely a demon when he earnestly implores her to return to normal. Overwhelmed with emotions, Guri becomes faint, prompting Seiji to ask her what she truly desires. Taking a leap of faith, he jumps off the office building to catch her, and miraculously, her demon wings transform into angel wings. Guri returns to her normal state, realizing that she wants Seiji to love her. Their heartfelt moment is abruptly interrupted when a cane throws a Gurkha knife at Guri's head. In the aftermath, Guri promises to consider adding Shikimi to their harem if she behaves, further infuriating Akane. The following morning, Seiji heads to school with the 4 girls by his side.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.